We are the Guinea Pig Collective. All will be assimilated. Resistance is futile.
Hey everybody, what's going on, and welcome back to the channel. So we're going to continue with Transformers Week. Now I touched on this briefly yesterday with Stephen Walton when we were discussing the 1986 Transformers the movie. Some of the smaller figures, which were called the Minicars, were actually holdovers from the Microchange line. Now these figures actually had distinctive marks on them that I was talking about during the live stream. But what better way to explain it than to show it? It's always the best way, honestly. So I have my Transformers box out. And as you can see, I have some of the older figures in here. Now some of the Minicars, we'll take Cliff Jumper for example. Now Cliff Jumper was a small red sports car. At least he was in the Transformers, well, for the most part. Now Cliff Jumper actually had the same thing that a lot of these other Minicars had, because these were modeled on the old Penny Racer design. Now the way the old Penny Racer toys worked is there was a slot in the back here where this headpiece would be. But it was a slot and you would put a penny in it, you would pull it back and wind it up and let it go. And with the penny in the back, it would actually create enough weight and enough friction to actually cause the car to do tricks. Now because these were made in Japan and they didn't have clear and concise names, they were sometimes multicolored. Hence why you would also get a Cliff Jumper in yellow. And yes, this is Cliff Jumper. For some of you may think this is Hubcap. Hubcap did not have this big spoiler in the back. This thing is a bit old, so like the arms are completely floppy at this point. But he wasn't the only one. Bumblebee also did come in red instead of just yellow. And there was a few other colors, like I heard that there were some of the colors were like teal and there was blue. They came in multiple colors because, once again, they weren't defined characters at that point. Now, we're going to get on to what I was talking about in the show. Now, when these things were brought over from Microchange, there was actually little markings on them that would identify them as Microchange. Now, one of the markings on Puffer, for example, was right on the side of the cab. It's kind of hard to see, but if you see, it's got this little M shape. The M shape actually stood for Microchange. Now, a few of the other figures, it was a little bit more definitive with the M, as such as on Gears here. Now, right here on the very end of his hood, you clearly see an M shape. Once again, all part of the Microchange line. Now, when they did subsequent toy lines and they extended the series, such as like when they did Pipes in '86, you can also see he still had that M on there. Now, the reason they didn't change that is because, yes, they did take these molds and they did alter them significantly. They did not do a complete remold of them. They actually completely changed the molds a lot, and some of these actually had brand new molds done, but some of the elements from the old ones they kept on the newer toys. As well as Brawn. Brawn is original, and if you could see where that sticker is, you might be able to just make out underneath it. You can almost see the M underneath it. It's kind of hard to make out with the sticker over top, but that's not a problem because we have Outback. Outback was basically a remold of Brawn with a few brand new mold pieces like the whole front, center, chest, and headpiece. and the top tire that was on there. But if you look right in the dead center of his hood, you could see that M that's on there for Microchange. Once again, just a holdover from the series. And they also did the same thing with another character who's based off of Gears, once again heavily modified, nowhere exactly near the same character. I actually did a video on this of whether or not they were remolds or complete redesigns, and these were redesigns because in-depth look, there is so many things different about them, there's no way it's just a straight up remold. But once again, it's the same thing. On the front of his hood, he's got the M for Microchange. And this was something that just carried on until they designed completely new characters, like when they did Warpath and, for example, Wheelie. Wheelie was based off the 1986 movie, and he does not bear the M for Microchange anywhere because he had nothing at all to do with that series. Anyway, guys, was this informative at all? Did you like hearing about this? Let me know what you think in the comments down below. I am planning on doing a whole series of retro designs, hopefully starting Monday. I'm still waiting for some of my other panelists to get back to me, and I hope we're able to link up and do all that soon. And we should be coming to you with retro discussions going old school on Monday, where we're going to be taking a look at some of these older franchises, toys, games, TV shows, and movies, and each one of us is going to be discussing our pick of the day. Hopefully everybody's going to like this, and we're going to try to keep it as positive as possible without all the crazy political nonsense. And I know there's a time and a place for it, but we all need to escape and just remember these great franchises for exactly what they were, something that always made us happy. Something that we can always go back to and find some kind of joy. Anyway, guys, leave the comments down below. And as always, I so appreciate you coming by and spending time on the channel. It means a lot to me. And if you enjoyed what you've seen and what you heard, go ahead and destroy that like button for me. And if you are new to the channel, welcome. I hope that you've enjoyed yourself thus far, and that you will consider subscribing to the channel if you did. And remember, guys, never let anybody tell you what you can and can't say, what you can and can't watch, what you can and can't like, because your silence gives consent. And I will catch you all next time. Later, y'all.
The Transformers, more than meets the eye.